Hello there. Yeah. Kyle Katarn here.
And the Bendu.
Coming back for another reaction. This isn't a reaction. This is a podcast.
Yeah,
we're reacting.
It's true. You know, I mean, okay, so we were reacting. We were reacting to the brand new intro song and intro video, which I'm absolutely hyped about. I fucking love it.
You like it? I'm glad you like it.
Together earlier before coming live. And like, yeah, no, it's great. It's great. I wasn't a fan of the slapstick bass last time, and we needed something new because it's a new season. We're going into a new season of Star Wars.
A new era, even.
It is a new era. And which is like collectively, I think, appropriate because I mean, it seems like very much Star Wars tradition that new stuff or the coming to the next generation or segment of Star Wars does usually happen around like the holiday season.
Like the arrival of whatever the next like show is usually.
Yeah, like Revenge of the Sith came out in like around the fall, and then a bunch of various TV shows had their season or series premieres or finales during the fall. Force Awakens came out during Christmas season, and then subsequently a few of the other movies as well. So it's like
I'm glad you bring that up because the thing I was thinking about the other day is that like I always get such hard like deja vu in the fall. And I never understood what it was, and I think I figured it out. It's because all the TV shows come back on. You know, shows that have been like off the air for a year because you know the season ended, and then suddenly like, oh, all the same stuff that I was watching a year ago, now I'm watching it again, and it gives you that deja vu. You know, it always happens to me during the fall. It happens with the fall shows for whatever reason, never with the summer shows.
I mean, I definitely felt it with Rings of Power for sure. There were a couple episodes especially during season 2, where like I would get teary-eyed or like, fuck, man, like I missed Middle Earth, sort of a deal. Or like there was
I felt like going home. It really did, did. That's what I'm excited for with Skeleton Crew. It feels like going home to the galaxy again.
It's true.
You know?
I think I don't have any TV shows that necessarily like make me feel that way, but more recently, especially since Agatha has now ended, which we will kind of go into
we'll be talking about Agatha later,
of like what we thought of the show and the finale. But what we're really going to go into first is the gloriousness of Skeleton Crew, because again, that is coming out in December. Again, something holiday season related, something family related. But yeah, with Skeleton Crew, it's dope to eventually see if it's going to be a Captain EO prequel or a Captain EO
straight up reboot.
Or,
or to do with Captain EO for sure.
The fact that it's just something that's completely still within the Star Wars universe, but still something completely different. Like, I think I'm going to really like this show, or I think we both might really like this show, because it's essentially going to be like a vision, like an episode of Star Wars Visions, but live action. And that's kind of what we really loved about The Acolyte, was that The Acolyte was like watching a live action episode.
Oh, dude, especially some of that fight choreography in The Acolyte really felt like the high octane fights in Visions. Definitely. Skeleton Crew is fully canon. I fully expect it to tie in to the main story in some way. That is yet to be revealed. I'm not sure. I have thoughts. All right, I got thoughts about Skeleton Crew. I've been mulling over this trailer that came out over the last few days. I've watched it so many times. But first, Digi, to address the elephant in the room. The last time we went live, we reacted to a ton of horror movie trailers, which resulted in a full-blown copyright strike against the channel. Who knew? Who knew that trailers would bring this down on us? But they did. Specifically the Evil Dead trailer. So shout out to Evil Dead. And yes, Digi did an excellent job of instituting a little underground railroad and getting all the refugees from YouTube onto Twitch, which stayed up for the remainder of the stream. We shouldn't be dealing with that again. today. We're definitely on our best behavior now. All right, we got to play nice for 90 days so the strike goes away, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, we have a very clear itinerary for the evening, thankfully.
Yeah, we will be watching the Skeleton Crew trailer, and we're going to be breaking down the Skeleton Crew trailer, but that's pretty much the only footage, the only third-party content that we're going to be featuring all night. So I don't think you have to worry about it, honestly. I reacted to the Skeleton Crew trailer, and if that was going to get me blocked, my reaction video would be blocked by now. So I think it's safe. Safe.
And then shout out again to everyone watching us live and hanging out with us in the comments. I had no remembrance or recollection that it was daylight savings time today, especially shout out to one of the comments who's also living in the US, because I'm in Arizona. We don't believe in daylight savings time. So I got onto the stream at our normal time, and Katarn's like, bro, I like to see you here nice and early getting set up. I was like, what you mean? It's like, we got still start. What you talking about? He's like,
he thought he was rolling in at 7:01, like a minute, an hour early.
So from the future onwards, now we'll definitely have a better idea of what time everything actually is. But yeah, no, shout out to everyone who always manages to hang out with us and in the comments section, because I go back and watch some of our streams, or at least our post streams on Twitter or things on YouTube, and we don't always get to see the conversations that we're having in the chat, or we don't always get to see the comments that are happening. So the fact that we're able to interact with a lot of you just makes it half of the fun for our live broadcasts. But yeah, daylight savings, so uncivilized, right? Does the UK have that shit? Is that something that Europe has to deal with, or is that purely?
I am pretty sure most of the world does it, and Hawaii and Arizona are these weird holdouts that refuse to do it. That is my understanding. I don't know. It means I get to wake up an hour earlier, and it's actually light out, which is nice. But it does mean that it gets darker quicker, which is whatever. That's right. Digi went back a week before I did. That should have been my clue in that it was coming soon. And you know what? I actually changed the clock in my car the day that daylight savings rolled back, and I feel like such a grown up. It's the first time I've done it the day it happened. Usually I just roll around with a wrong clock for a week.
That's fair.
Not this time. I got my shit together finally.
But yeah, no. So yeah, Skeleton Crew, absolutely amazing. We are gonna try to watch the trailer.
Yeah, that's coming up next. That's what we're doing right now.
And then we're gonna really break down little bits and pieces of it. But again, something I was gonna say, and we'll get more into when it comes
seasonal affective disorder gang, rise up.
Right?
Love living in Seattle.
I'm going to be really excited if they don't do anything Jedi related, because even if it's something like Andor, or if it's something like different parts of Visions, I love that you don't have to have things that are inherently Star Wars for it to be inherently Star Wars, and I'm really excited to see that sort of other side of.
Let's get some flavors. Yeah, variations on a theme. Doesn't all have to come from the same cookie cutter, like the archetypes, like you said, there's certain things that need to be there for it to be Star Wars, but it doesn't have to be as overt as you might think. It's very easy to juxtapose those tenets, the stylistic tenets at least, and put them in a different genre, a completely different kind of storytelling, follow a different kind of character than we've seen before. And I feel like we're going to get that with Skeleton Crew. It feels very much and I mean, we know it's been directly inspired by the old Amblin films, right? E.T. and the Goonies.
Yeah.
Hook. And also I think of cartoons like Treasure Planet. Definitely
I was thinking about that too. Just Treasure Island in general. And how I really appreciate, we'll get into it after we watch the trailer, because there's
Let's watch the trailer. Let's start with the trailer. Let's just dive into the thing. I remember how to use StreamYard. It's been a week. It's all gone right out of my head. Oh, no, there we go. That's how I do this. I turn off our overlay, and then I put us in movie watching mode, like this. Are you ready to punch it, my friend?
It's to punch it.
Punch it.
All right, let's go. Let's do it.
What are you in for? What are you in for?
Playing in dirt? That's not something to get in trouble for.
I think he got in a fight or something.
Do you understand?
What do you think it is?
I love Neel lifting up his giant floppy ear to hear inside
Don't touch anything.
See, like, I love this trope. I love this whole, like, lost in space. Like, oh, we thought it was a cave. We thought that it was just a normal, like, abandoned.
And now you're on an adventure. You got to find your way home. Like,
yeah,
dope.
dude. And now
look at this. I love that shot. Like, so much going on.
Come on, kid. Pay up. Whoa, where'd you two find an old Republic credit?
Goofy aliens. What I want.
Over here, quick. I'll get you home. We'll make a partnership. But we have to move fast. I need you to take the controls.
Okay. Neel? Neel?
Neel's going to be the hero of the show. Just you wait.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
Of murderous pirates is coming.
Also, how about the Major Tom cover? They're singing in Huttese. It's so good.
They're not going to just turn up. We need to find them.
We're not alone down here.
Oh,
yes, Bracken.
Of booby traps.
Oh, I love the booby traps, dude.
See, it's like.
If you hear
oh god, it's so fucking cool.
Also, you know, they're using like the Clone Wars Rebels, like dome-style helmets.
Dude, I'm so fucking pumped. Like even
Grandio Tom.
Like even if, like, worst case scenario, even if it's just a Star Wars retelling of Treasure Island or Treasure Planet, and Jude Law ends up being the evil captain, and he just gaslights us for 80% of the movie of like, oh no, I'm just your friend. I'm here to help you along the way, and then like we just find out, kidding, kid, I've been evil the whole time. Like, dude, I'm
talking about Jod?
Here for
Jod Nawood, the most trustworthy man.
Like, bro, okay, so like nothing against Jude Law. I fucking love Jude Law, but like,
Jude Law's amazing, dude. I love him.
Jude Law is great. Like, he's still Watson, but in the back of my head, I'm like, dude, after seeing you in Captain Marvel, like, I already know that I can't trust you because reasons. And then two, after AI, I'm just like, man, you are the best. Like,
yeah, Gigolo Joe. Gigolo Joe.
Like,
that's what I know.
You're such a great metaphor for like what makes, you know, what is experience. And it's like, dude, like, you as an actor, you've done so much random stuff.
Out there theory that I've heard yet.
Yeah, man.
Jude Law is Cal Kestis. That's the most out there theory I think that I have heard about him yet. I mean, like, I won't rule it out, but like, Cameron Monaghan's right there. He's right there. I don't know. We'll have to see about that one. Star Wars Legends of the Hidden Temple, I absolutely get the vibes. Definitely. They've got it all. Like
we through the comics, we already know what Star Wars Pirates kind of is like with the whole Cade Skywalker.
You talking about Legacy?
Yeah, like Darth Krayt with Star Wars Legacy stuff. So it's like we know kind of what a piratey like main story can be like. But again, even if we have someone who's potentially force sensitive, like, I am excited to have a story about like just space smugglers that isn't, you know, reliant on lightsabers, that isn't necessarily reliant on the Force. I hope it just like
underworld story.
Yeah, like, I hope it just happens to be some sort of like side mentioned like thing that just happens to be there, and we really just emphasize of like, oh shit, this ship that we tripped upon has like some, you know, homing sensor, and now these enemy pirates are like, oh shit, someone tripped up our old ship. Now we got to find out who stole our treasure. Like,
here's my theory. Here's my theory about Jod. I think Jod is working with these pirates, and he is like straight up a member of this pirate crew. And he is like trying to swindle the kids because they want the Onyx Cinder. They want the ship.
Yeah.
Maybe the ship's rare. Maybe it's valuable. And maybe it has a treasure map inside it. That's probably
exactly. It's got something in its Navi computer.
Either way, I think Jod is in league with these pirates, and the whole plan is that he's gonna like steal the ship out from under the kids and give it to the pirates. But through the course of the show, he's gonna like decide that he wants to rescue the kids. He's gonna betray the pirates and turn into their like reluctant mentor kind of thing, heart of gold.
Yeah.
Situation.
Yep.
Whether he's a Jedi or not, Jod is not his name. That's a fake name. I'm calling it right now. He's going to be revealed as someone else. And so I posted a poll. On the Dork Forces Twitter asking people earlier. Let's see if I can find it here. Okay, so I ran a poll. Is Jod Nanawud a Jedi? We got 101 votes. The final results are in overwhelmingly 80.2% of people said no. No, he's not a Jedi. What's your take, Bendu? Is he a Jedi? Does he have the Force?
So again, we've broken this down. Just because you are Force sensitive does not make you a Jedi.
Sure. So you think he might still be Force sensitive? I guess that's the question. Is he Force sensitive or not?
I mean, it's potentially too early in the game. Like something we were discussing earlier before we went live was how good of a job the scam artist in Kenobi was able to be in like faking his Force pushes and like being able to fake Force abilities. That it's like, and it's a show about pirates. Pirates love anything that's sleight of hand. And anything that's like,
these are children. These are children who don't know anything about the universe,
right? Yeah,
like it must be really easy to trick them and convince them, probably.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that too later, about why they don't know anything about the universe. Like there was a little bit more information on StarWars.com about Skeleton Crew, and one of the tidbits that they revealed is that no one has heard of their home planet. Like it's this unknown, like it's uncontacted by the rest of the galaxy, which might explain why it looks so suburban and like unique within Star Wars, is because it has like developed in a really insulated way. But there's so many species living in tandem together. We got Rhodians, we've got Neel's species, we've got humans. It's like a melting pot, but the galaxy doesn't know about them. Like, how could that be possible? And that makes me think someone deleted it from the archive memory. Right? Yeah. There's something shady going on about why no one knows about this planet. And I'm thinking that it has to do with the Onyx Cinder. It has to do with that temple that we saw Jod walking in with the Ur-Katat Sith writing along the wall, which I tried really hard to translate, and like 75% of the characters new to the alphabet, so I got nothing.
There's not enough prior information for you to have been able to do that, but like I didn't want to say that out loud. I was like, dude, he's trying so hard.
I did. I turned my beard gray, but it didn't work. But that's okay. That is the job that I do.
Yeah.
Find those answers.
Just for the little potential tidbit of like information that could be there. There's always the if.
That's a great catch. That's another 80s reference that they're doing in the trailer that I didn't notice the first time. Yeah, let's start playing it back.
Dude, was it a police station though? I figured they were
it's not a police station. It's like the principal's office.
Yeah.
But they're totally referencing the whole "what are you in for?" just like with Ferris Bueller.
What are you in for?
So she's in for stealing a speeder and going on a joyride between some buses there, because that's highly dangerous, right?
It's causing
and he's all covered in dirt, so I feel like they're meeting here. Like they don't really know each other, or they don't hang out. They got in trouble in separate things, and this is how they meet, That's the vibe that I'm getting. Finds the hatch. Really reminds me of Lost, actually.
Dude, I was thinking it reminds me of that other amazing, like it came out when like the whole found footage craze was going on, where there was the movie that took place in Seattle, and like that group of friends found the meteorite that was in the field.
Oh yeah.
And they all developed telekinesis. Chronicle. But dude, like, oh god, I wish so fucking hard. Every time I see a shooting star or a meteorite, I'm like,
land here, I can catch it.
Crash here, just let me touch you, give me powers. Like the whole moral of that story is like friends don't let friends have powers, but like still, bro,
honestly
though.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Because Corran Horn has been canonized as of Kenobi, right?
It's true.
There were many names on the path inscribed in the wall. Ganner Rysode was on there. Actually, a couple of Stackpole Jedi were on there, but Corran Horn was revealed to be the child that Kumail's character was swindling with the mom when he was pretending to be the Jedi. That little kid is credited in the credits as Corran Horn. So I don't know if enough time has passed from Kenobi to like this Mando timeline where this show is set for him to be as old as Jude Law by now. Like, I think he's a little too old to be Corran Horn because we've established Corran Horn's age at like whatever that was, like 14, 15 BBY. But as for Jod's name, like it's totally a fake name. And they were totally like, "Hey, what's your name?" And in his head, he's like, "Don't say Jude. Don't say Jude. Don't say Jude. My name is Jod."
Yeah,
that's the best.
So
the best
Jordan Bacchus, I see you with the Old Republic money. Should give it away where they're from. That's only where the ship is from. If they took the money out of the ship and the ship is like crashed,
I don't know that they did. That money looked pretty clean. I think that's like Neel's allowance that he was spending. I think they still use Old Republic currency on whatever this planet is. And someone pointed it out in the comments, and I noticed this as well, that with captions on, Old and Republic are both capitalized, which means we're not talking about the prequels. We're talking 4,000 years ago, Old Republic. They don't capitalize the Old in Old Republic when they're talking about the prequels. It's just the Republic.
It's true.
That say, "Oh, it's some old."
I don't know. I mean, like, if you kept the gold, if you kept the money in like a box and then put the box in a cabinet, and it's only the cabinet that gets fucked up, like the gold, the Imperial credit should still be clean.
Let's see him right here. This is where the credits come.
I love how
disgusting. I love this marketplace. All these awesome aliens and like food, like you can smell it almost. There's something so like visceral and like sensory about the way they make these scenes, and it's like a little bit of color grading, sound design, and like it's fantastically immersive every time. The beginning of the Acolyte, very first episode, the noodle shop, might have been my favorite sequence in the whole series, just because like all of the alien reaction shots, like the way they decorated that space, how alien and yet cozy it felt. Like I love these spaces in Star Wars, and so like I'm so glad we're getting another one here.
This scene reminds me more of like Batu.
There we go. Look at that. Look at that stuff.
Yeah.
That does look a lot like a clone Republic crest. I really can't tell if that's supposed to be Old Republic or Republic.
But I mean, it's not brand new. It's still kind of like musty and dark and dingy a little bit.
Yeah, I guess that's true. They could have found it on the ship. I feel like it's in the same condition as the coins, the change that I have in my cup holder in my car.
Exactly.
They're all a little rusty, but they're still legal tender.
Exactly.
Republic credits don't spend in the greater galaxy right now at this time. What are you in for? I love the way they dress.
You're right. I think you're right. He probably got into a fight and then ended up like running away.
He's all mussed up. He's got like dirt on him and stuff.
Yeah, because it's after he like rolled down the hill. I'm sure what it was is he was getting bullied. He probably fought the bully back, ran away, fell down the hill, and then like got called into detention later on or something maybe.
Totally possible. I like the costume that they've got her in. She got these patches on like this little leather jacket. Like you could just tell that like she's got a poster of Harrison Dula on her bedroom wall.
Sean Bearwalker. What the hell is a gigawatt? Yeah, dude. What the hell is that?
That's true. In the trailer, we saw him reading a story about Luke with the lightsaber and the Rancor and everything. Like we saw that happen. So he's probably like a space cadet. You're right. He could be getting bullied. But she seems like she's like tough. She's a tough girl.
I mean, if
so
she's
they're
stealing
a good
cars,
fit for each other as a friend group, Like that's the other thing that's like so 80s about it. We've got like the smart one, the tough one, the nerd. Like They always did that. Like the 80s movies were like a small friend group stuff. Like they have the archetypes.
Absolutely. No,
they're totally playing.
Breakfast Club was all just like archetypes.
Totally.
Even the Losers. What's the group in It called the Losers group? Like they all still kind of like fall under certain archetypes. So.
Well, I mean that's because that's absolutely part of the 80s movie movement as well. The original It. But like totally, and Stranger Things totally tried to capture that vibe with the cast, especially the earlier seasons before it became such a huge ensemble show. Like definitely on that same vibe.
Dad reminds me of someone, but I can't think.
He's in trouble with Dad.
Like actor wise.
Yeah, he looks familiar to me too, but I can't place where I've seen him before. I can place where I've seen this robot before, this droid that's right behind your circle. It's one of like the camera faced, like the lens faced ones that we see in Rogue One at the farm in the very, very beginning. Yeah, she's ready to go. She got the shovel out. She's like, there's something buried here. Let's figure it out. This planet's hella boring. We got something we can do now.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, so I wonder if the girl with the visor and the white hair is supposed to be the nerd. And then
totally the nerd. She's got a little pocket
Neel, yeah, and then I wonder if Neel is the one that's like, hey guys, we should go home. I hope they're not mean to him. I hope that he's like equally part of the
girls develop faster, so it's a young Boba Fett. They cloned Daniel Logan.
Yes.
Total LaForge vibes. She's totally got like a Geordie inspiration going. It's like a combination of Geordie LaForge and Lobot, you know?
Yeah. But we saw in one of the other teaser trailers, like it lifts up and she has like eyes or at least eye sockets.
Right. She wears it as like an enhancement or like an accessory, maybe even. But it's not like she relies on it. It's not like she's blind without it, like Geordie is. She doesn't rely on it to see. It just like gives her a heads up display on top of what she sees. It's like her Google Glass, you know? That's what I think.
Probably, yeah.
But like, yeah, I love this shot. Neel like just lifting his ear up so he can hear what's going on.
Everything about him looks like fantastic. His ears actually look like they have like the consistency of like those little succulent petals that you want to like.
Oh, like
you want to go to Lowe's or Home Depot and you want to squeeze it a little bit,
like an aloe plant.
Yeah,
totally. I totally get that vibe too. Okay, so they open the hatch somehow. I'm glad that they leave that out of the trailer, so we don't know how it is that they figure out how to get in there in the first place. And there it is, overgrown, possibly even for thousands of years, if it is in fact like Old Republic with a capital Old. We're really gonna go back and forth. The capital Old.
The capital Old. How old are you, sir? Oh, capital Old.
Exactly. When Tarkin says Old Republic, what he really means is the previous Republic.
Yeah.
The Republic that is not current, you know. Yes, Neel is his own species. He is not an Ortolan, which Max Rebo is.
Yep.
Let's get Neel back up on the screen for this one. This is your moment, buddy.
He has a tail or a little nub tail. He's able to move. Yeah, he has all of his limbs.
So John Watts, the showrunner, has confirmed that Neel is not an Ortolan and is a whole new alien species. He is described as, quote, an elephant-like species. Yeah. The directors then shared what their favorite Star Wars creature and whether or not they got to use them in their episodes. Here's the quote. John, what creature is Neel? I liked working with him. Watts says, he's technically a new alien. Well, that's a whole debate I'm not going to get into right now. The question with Ortolans is Max Rebo playing his keyboard with his feet or with his arms? Neel is an elephant-like species, but there are so many in the Star Wars universe. So they're not quite willing to put a name on it yet, but he's an elephant-like species.
Hey, but that answered a lot of questions already. Like that's already
huge. Yeah, no, that's a huge confirmation for us because we've been going back and forth on what he is. I mean, Doug Chang posted on Instagram months ago a Wikipedia screenshot of like all of the different alien type species in Star Wars, of which there's like a dozen at least.
Absolutely, over a dozen.
And Neel was included in his own category, separate from the Ortolans. So that really should have told us all we needed to know back then. Yeah, Neel is Neel. Neel's just his own thing. Neel is Babar. Oh, I love it. No, I think he is a new species. They're just introducing a new species, and I'm fine with it. The more, the merrier, honestly. But yeah, that's pretty cool. That
again, right? So like, we already saw the little fuzzy orange. We already saw the little fuzzy orange pink fairy creature like in the cage. So it's like, yeah. So it's like by saying, you know, it's a potentially new species, but that's debatable, and I don't want to get into that right now. They're just saying EO. They're all fucking. They just want to say like, okay, well, I mean,
basically he's Hooter, right? He's basically Hooter at the end of the day.
Fucking Hooter.
People are saying it. People are saying that he's Hooter, and I am not disagreeing with them. But
he might not be like
what John Watson's thing is he doesn't want to get into the whole Ortolan debate, because even just Ortolans on their own is a hotly debated issue. Do they have 2 limbs? Do they have 4 limbs? Does Max Rebo play with his feet or his hands? Like,
yeah.
I mean, like we've got canon comics showing Ortolans with arms and legs, but then we've also got canon comics where they only have legs, and then we've got the original maquette from Ralph McQuarrie where Max Rebo's playing with his feet. But then you got Star Wars: The Old Republic, and Ortolans have 4 limbs again. It's madness. You don't even need Neel to make Ortolans like it's a shit show over there. But Neel's outside of all that. And that is alone, I think, is huge just news for Star Wars fans, because we've been so like it's been such an undefined, nebulous thing. What are these elephant-like species? And now we know.
And besides like nebulous, kept together, agreed upon things.
I
love that no one for a moment is willing to argue that like Max Rebo is not a good musician. Like everyone agrees wholeheartedly that no, Max Rebo is the greatest musician, one of the greatest musicians that has appeared in this universe. Like, regardless of what he plays with or how
he has played for emperors and kings. He has traveled the galaxy. Like, he's done it all, man. Like the fact that he was playing, like he was the house band for Jabba. That's like doing a stint as like Pablo Escobar's personal saxophone player for a couple of years, and then moving on to like that's wild, just on its own. But like the fact that he like survives the sail barge, the Katana, and goes on to do more crazy stuff, like he's legendary. He's a legendary character. He really is. Who's the woman in the hologram looking like Mon Mothma? That woman, let's see if we can find her here, is the teacher from the school. She's also on the poster that was revealed from the show. Yeah. I don't have a copy of the poster in front of me here, but yeah, you're talking about the red-headed woman who looks kind of like Wynn. I thought might be Wynn's mom, but I'm thinking is actually just a teacher, because we see her in front of the classroom at one point, and we see her talking to the dad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's in this trailer at all, actually. I think it was in the previous trailer that we see her in the classroom.
I think so, yeah.
Let's see if I can find this shot right here.
Feel like by the way, do see a hologram at some point.
My favorite shot.
Like, that shot is so cool.
There's so much going on here. There's so much good. Having played a bunch of Outlaws, I want to just like explore everything now. Like I'm just in open world mode. I feel like I could find a Nyx treat over there. There's probably some loot over here. I could upgrade the Trailblazer. Yeah. When we arrive, we're going to continue to go through it in chronological order here, and when we get to the shot of the hologram lady, we will revisit that comment and identify her. But I'm pretty sure she is, in fact, the teacher. So the Onyx Cinder itself, right? It's an interesting ship. We've seen its full silhouette now. We know kind of what it looks like.
Yeah.
Have you noticed all of the user displays and interfaces are rounded on this ship? They're also this very circular, spherical. It has a very like strong Doug Chiang energy to it, which I think is indicative of the time period this is supposed to come from. And I think just looking at the designs of the ship's panels and interfaces makes me think prequels. You know, it's because things from the original trilogy are very like boxy, straight lines, 90-degree angles.
That's true. The Naboo cockpit was very circular.
Exactly. The Naboo cockpit, I think Trade Federation ships, all of their readout displays, it's all like circular. Even their doors are round, you know? It's like so aesthetically opposite of what we see in the originals. This makes me feel like it's a prequel's design. Like, look at that thing. It's like the beefiest U-wing you've ever seen.
I was gonna say it looks like the back end of a U-wing, though.
It does. It totally does. Slave 1 is a fire spray class gunboat, and it was made by Kuat Drive Yards. Originally, the fire spray class ships were supposed to be security craft that would patrol the shipyards of Kuat. And then Boba took, well, I guess Django at this point took his and souped it up. And the vertical takeoff, the way it rotates like that, is actually something that's unique to Slave 1. And the rest of the fire spray class actually don't do that. They dock and they're constantly vertical. And he made his land flat. But yeah, they were originally like the equivalent of like a Crown Victoria. They were just like the security guard car that they would patrol the shipyards in, for little fire sprays. Yeah, we're getting references all over the place. And this, as a Star Wars completist, I'm all about it. That's everyone kind of classifies themselves as a different kind of Star Wars fan. And like some people are purists, some people are all about like a specific era. I'm a completist, and what really like gets me going is when I see something from one era standing next to something from another era, and they look like they belong in the same universe.
Yes, you know? Agreed.
It's like we're seeing something from the original trilogy with the camera quality of the sequels in a setting from the prequels, and like when I see all three of these elements together, I'm like, Star Wars is real, you know?
It's like it all makes sense.
It just exactly it tickles my brain in like this perfect little way, and so that's like. So getting references across the board like that makes me so excited for what's coming next. Also, how heartbreaking for this dad. I know nothing about him. He might be a total jerk to his son, but like, I feel for him in this moment. Like, coming down to try and get his hapless kid out of trouble, only to see him blasting off into the galaxy. And like...
And be like, oh man, the last thing we talked about was an argument. Like,
yeah, exactly. They argued, and now as far as his son is gone, you know, like as a parent, that must be so like heart wrenching. And like we see him talking to the teacher woman, and they're trying to come up with a plan to rescue these kids somehow. But do they even have the capability of leaving the planet? You know, how hidden is this world? Like, how cut off are we talking here? Could it be like a Lyrasan situation where they're like, the planet itself is nestled in like a nebula or some kind of like really hard to traverse area of space, and that's why no one ever goes there? Kind of like the Kobo Abyss in Jedi Survivor, how like Tanalorr is like hidden, you can't even get there.
Maybe, but like even if they could leave planet, there's no way that they would be able to like follow the vapor trail of of this prior ship to find out where it went.
That's like one of the whole things is that you can't track a ship through hyperspace.
Yeah.
And that like when a ship jumps, everyone scrambles to try and come up with possible trajectories to sort of figure out where they went. But you can't just be like, oh, we're tracking their warp signature. Like you can't do the Star Trek thing and be like, they've gone to this sector, you know? So it's very possible that, you know, yeah, they have no way of tracking them at all, which is what I mean by I feel bad for the dad because, like, the kid's out there and there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, the teacher, too. That's very stressful, and it's probably not going to reflect well on her when she gets her review at the end of the year. I heard some of your students ended up in the Delta Quadrant. Want to care to explain that, Miss whoever you are? No, I see it. I see it, too.
What's up, Ronan?
Talking about the Trailblazer. I see it especially from like the back and from the side, but when you look at it top down, it's like, I don't know if you saw Farscape. There's a ship on Farscape called Moya, and it's like a living organic ship. At one point, the ship has a baby, and it's just like a little mini Moya, but it's terrifying. It's called Talon. That's kind of what I see the relationship here. If like the Onyx Cinder would be the mom, and then the little baby would be the Trailblazer. Like it looks enough like it, but it's so much
interesting.
You know, so that's I see what you're seeing though. I see Trailblazer in that. Ronan, hello there. What's up, man?
Yeah, I was gonna say because I was gonna say like
Voyager. I see him using the red pen on this assessment today.
Like this cockpit very much like the way the window display is reminds me a lot of. Not Kylo's ship. I want to say almost like the Inquisitor's ship because it had like the red sort of like TIE fighter shape. Fuck, I forget whose ship it is now. Oh my god, it was
the red TIE fighter shape one. That was Kylo. That was Kylo's TIE silencer.
Okay, yeah. This
makes me think you get Kylo cockpit from this. That's interesting. I don't get that at all. I get like Trade Federation flagship with that big round viewport. I'm just hearing that one stupid ass name already go magnetize. Like that's what I'm seeing from this. If you know what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
But like Kylo, that's interesting. I hadn't really thought about like that connection visually, you know. But like we're definitely in hyperspace and we're definitely going far, far away. And we're gone. I don't know. I think I'm gonna like these kids. Like the acting performances, we're gonna find out when we find out. But like visually, the way they've got like the character designs, the way they've got them dressed, the way they seem to be different enough from each other, I feel like the formula is there.
They look amazing.
Time with this, it really like the show's just got to stick the landing. You know, they're just like they're doing everything right. The marketing is getting everyone excited. The trailer looks really fun. Like we're getting to the point where the only elements left up in the air, we're not going to know until we're sitting down watching the thing. And I'm pretty hopeful. I'm pretty optimistic about it. And here he is, Smee, SM33. In the trailer, he speaks in like a rhyming cadence too, just like it makes me think of like Pirates of the Caribbean, you know, like all the old like nursery rhymes written on the corner of the treasure map kind of thing.
It's going to be interesting. Like, I didn't really think about it or notice him sitting there with the kids right now. Cause like, I always kind of assume that he's part of the crew that's like hunting them down. Like, I didn't think of him as like ending up being an ally. So I wonder if this point in the story, like if they're going to deactivate him or if they like reconfigure, you know.
I think this droid is about to become their reluctant nanny.
Yeah.
That can be kind of the dynamic. He's going to be like, I was designed for killing and pillaging. Why am I cleaning up a mess right now? Like, they're going to get all sitcom-y with it. But I think there's going to be like tension between this droid and Jod, because these kids are going to idolize Jod and be like, wow, you're a Jedi. You saved us. Like, what should we do? You're the one in charge here. And the droid's going to be like, what are you trying to pull with these kids? Like, he's going to see through him straight away. And I think he's going to end up actually like being a thorn in his side and going to force him to confess earlier or something. I mean, like I will be singing some crew shanties for sure. I'm about to get back into my pirate phase from when I was like 7 years old, which coincided with my outer space phase. So space pirates, my inner child says, hell yes. I'm all on board, man. All on board. So I notice as we fly past the ship right here, it's totally got those, like the large ship right here, it's totally got those very distinctive, like Chris Foss style stripes. The only other ship that's had those big meaty stripes like that in recent memory that I can think of is Gorian Shard's Corsair in The Mandalorian. You remember?
That's true.
Gorian Shard died.
Salad face. Yeah.
Salad face. May he R.I.P. But Vane, little freaking coward Vane, abandoned the fight and flew off. And we're going to see Vane again in this show. What if this ship right here is part of Gorian Shard's former armada? Because he wasn't just a captain. He was a pirate king. Everyone knew him as the Pirate King. And a king has a navy. So I'm thinking that Corsair that was destroyed was one of several ships that he has. And because the livery on this ship is so similar, I'm wondering if this is like the remnant of his crew and
remnant and wreckage. I mean, that would be cool. That's not something like we've seen that in Dead Space and like Event Horizon, and we've seen that in Alien. I feel like there were a couple of episodes of the Clone Wars that they tried to make like kind of creepy abandoned ship, sort of where like they would get a distress signal and then like Ahsoka and Anakin and Obi like went and, you know, fucking investigated it, and then like
one of my very favorite genres of horror is like derelict ship.
Right? So like if they it would be really cool because we don't necessarily see that a whole lot because it's obviously space, right? And so you think like either a lot of things get blown up and like they probably fall into atmosphere in some other planet and it gets burnt up. But yeah, no, that would be a great point. Like if a larger the larger starship got blown up, there's no reason for like half of that stuff to not be aimlessly floating in space. and then, you know, scavengers randomly pick and clean things off that they needed. Again, like the Ravagers in Firefly and Serenity, like they just flew around eating people and stealing shit from ships to build their own ship.
The Reavers, dude. I love that sequence in Firefly where they like dress the ship up to look like a Reaver ship and try to just like float through. Oh, and then they kite the Reavers into the boss fight. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm convinced. I'm going to watch Serenity again tonight. It's been long enough. But I don't think this is physically that same ship. I'm not saying it's like a chunk of that ship. I'm saying that this is another ship from the same fleet because he blew up in atmosphere. He crashed into the ground.
Yeah.
So I don't think the wreckage would make it to space in any way. But like, if you're like sub commander of a ship in a pirate fleet and the pirate king is dead, I mean, you're not going to stick around, right? You take what you can and get out. So like, that's what happens to criminal organizations. When the top goes, it splits off into like all these mini organizations that are all vying for power. Just like what happened with the Empire, the Imperial Remnant. You know, Gideon versus Thrawn versus, you know, everybody else. Exactly, pirate power vacuum. And Vane is absolutely going to try and step in and fill that vacuum. But as soon as I saw those stripes, I was like, okay, that's part of Gorian Shard's former fleet for sure. And here we are. Look at these this massive ship in the back here. Doesn't it look like a huge Y-wing engine?
Yeah.
On the left side there. That's what I see. It's too big to be a Y-wing. Look at all this. Look at all this.
Yeah, there's so many interesting people and things like potentially going on. There's like it's like an I Spy page or like a Where's Waldo page. Legit.
Yeah, there's so much good stuff happening. And this is in some sort of like a nebula or something. Like there's nothing really to indicate what part of the galaxy we're in, and I find that very exciting too. Because like if we can manage not to go to Tatooine for once, I'm down. I'm down to see something new in the galaxy, please. And I love Tatooine. Biggest Tatooine fan over here. But we've been there. All right, we've done that. The galaxy is so vast and so huge. Before returning to a familiar location, let's get at least a couple of new ones, you know, per project. And like it probably wouldn't rub me as wrong if every single project introduced a new location on top of visiting a legacy, because I like revisiting these old places, but we got to add to it. We got to keep adding to it.
Right? There's always like if it's a whole planet, there should be different parts of the planet that look different.
I don't believe it is literally Hondo's Katooni ship. I think it is just the same class of ship, because there's also that same ship is parked in Outlaws. You can find it in the Mos Eisley docking port. Also, it's adorable that Hondo named his ship Katooni after the Padawan from the Younglings arc.
Damn.
Like she saved his ass, but also like she inspired him. I love that. Hondo's just got a heart of gold. I'm not sold that he's going to show up, but like honestly, I would not be surprised. I don't want to bet on that. I really try to avoid creating expectations in that way, but like all the signs are there. Like if he shows up, that would be rad. I've been waiting for live action Hondo for long.
Even the name drop would be.
Even a name drop. Dude, that animatronic at Galaxy's Edge, though.
Right? It could be.
That's pretty close. We came pretty close.
Yeah.
And the little screen where you see the message of him right before you get in the cockpit, like that's actual live action Hondo. Jim Cummings' voice and everything. Like that was pretty cool. And so just take it that extra step further and put them on the screen, please. Are we in Beyond Space? We could be in the unknown regions. We could be in wild space. Some people were thinking that like this show would connect to Ahsoka and they're in like the Peridia galaxy. I don't think they've gone that far out. And the reason I don't think that is because we see X-Wings in this trailer. And there ain't no X-Wings in that part of the galaxy. We're still within the confines of the New Republic, wherever we are, because there's X-Wings patrolling around. But then again, we could be zipping around. We could be traveling hundreds of light years per episode and be in vastly different places everywhere. It's hard to tell in like a Voyager type show where you're thrust way far away and you're slowly trying to find your way home. Usually in that format of storytelling, you do go to a planet per episode, you know, or like a new region per episode. I don't know if this is supposed to be a multiple season show, I don't know. After the Acolyte was not renewed so quickly after it came out, I've kind of changed the way that I interact with these Star Wars projects. In that, like, I'm anticipating a 1-season show.
That's true.
And so if they could wrap it up nicely in a single season, cool. That was a fun story. C'est la vie. And if it's absolutely mind-blowing and like everyone's raving about it, cool. Maybe we'll get a season 2. But I'm no longer going to have this automatic expectation of a renewal for a season 2 for any Star Wars show, except for like the flagship ones where like they know they're printing money when they make more Mandalorian stuff, for example. Like you can always kind of count that they're going to further that product somehow.
Well, I feel like with that example though, like we know that Andor season 2 is like still in production. We know that the next time we see Mandalorian Grogu, it's going to be in the movie.
In the movie, right?
We don't know about Ahsoka season 2 at all. But yeah, no, Visions. We were lucky to get a season 2 of Visions, and it kicked.
Visions is different because Visions is an anthology. It's a compilation, you know, and so Visions it's kind of easier to continue it because it's just giving different studios opportunities to do like these one-offs. But like Ahsoka. That's a story with arcs and development and like the same characters each episode. And I feel like Ahsoka was successful enough that a season 2 will probably come of it. But like I used to go into these things being like, oh, season 1 of this was great. I can't wait for season 2, just like right off the bat. And I'm trying not to do that anymore.
Well, I guess
Crew, in my mind, is a 1-season show until I'm told otherwise.
That's fair. I mean, I felt like with Kenobi, I definitely went into it knowing and thinking that this was going to be a 1-season off. Same with Ahsoka. I didn't necessarily think that there was going to be a season 2 for Ahsoka, like before watching any of it. And then like as the show was obviously happening, and then obviously as the show was happening, there was like, oh man, they're really leading a lot into this, or like, oh shit, we're really getting out of like this forlorn, forgotten planet, and we're actually going back to like mainland Dathomir. First off, shout out to Dathomir. Always shout out to Dathomir, especially in fucking Halloween season, Halloween Town. Speaking of witches in Halloween Town, we're probably going to have to save the Agatha discussion for next week's podcast.
That's fair. That's fair. We've got a lot to talk about with Agatha as well.
Yeah, because everything with Skeleton Crew is like so gorgeous and so delectable and beautiful. But yeah, with Ahsoka and with Dathomir, like, but again, no promises, right? And at least with Andor, we know that Andor has to have a season 2 because we've been hyped up and we've been told by so many people of like, we're going to lead up to Rogue One. We're going to lead up to Rogue One. So it's like
Andor has an ending. We know that Andor has a definitive point where there will not be a season 3 of Andor. It's just
it's Rogue One. Everyone's dead. Everyone dies.
Yeah, season 3 is called Rogue One. Season 4 of Andor, he's a Force ghost. We haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah.
But no, exactly. Unless a show that's like rooted in the timeline, like there's an end point and you know exactly where it is. But because Ahsoka is kind of like after all of the established, like we don't really know, that time period isn't mapped out quite as closely. Anything could happen between then and now. And when I was watching Ahsoka season 1, I kind of assumed season 2 would be Filoni's movie. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm just trying to temper my expectations and be like, a season 2 would be great, but I'm not expecting it now. That way I'm not disappointed when it's not renewed. Because, you know, as a single season of television should be able to tell a self-contained story with a beginning, middle, and an end. As long as it's not like a massive cliffhanger, I can make my peace with that very easily, I think.
Anatar, I forget who's Abeloth. Is Abeloth like that lady, that force?
The creepy lady with the big mouth floating out there.
Who eats? She's essentially like Neelis, where she just eats the life energy out of people to like stay alive.
Yes.
Or like, oh, okay.
I
forget. She's also, is she the same species or race?
Yes.
Out. Ted, I got your voucher. Out!
I forget, was Aboleth supposed to be the same, like, on the same, like, level as the Mortis gods?
The Star Weirds?
Yeah, like, was she, like, on the same Asgardian level as, like, father, brother, sister?
No. She's not quite Mortis level, but she is her own thing.
Gotcha.
She's like a space Baba Yaga.
Gotcha. That would be dope. That would be cool to see, like, even as its
I
own,
don't see
like,
it happening. I don't see it happening. I agree it would be cool. I don't think it's going to happen.
The Chiss would happen first. And then, like, again, Lucasfilm would have to figure out, like, okay, how do we make the Borg how do we make biological Borg? And it's like, dude, you have the images. Like, the ladies that made the cover art for the OG Star Wars novels, like, they had the idea, like, those creatures are nasty, and, like, they have spikes. And, like, just fucking, like, you got the images. It's right there. It looks like old school Magic the Gathering. Like, just fucking do it.
So, Ben, you're a brave traveler. You'll put yourself in situations. Let me ask you, would you eat this?
I mean,
like, in this exact scenario, served by this guy, no gloves, by the way. He's just doing it. He's just going in.
Right, no hairnet,
Is it like a crustacean, like a creature that he's squishing the guts out of? Is it like a weird like Rudy Vine thing? That's a creature that he's like cracking open.
If it were a Rudy Vine thing,
like a carapace and like limbs.
Yeah. Not crustacean.
If you were starving, sure.
I don't know if I would do crustacean guts uncooked. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
They plopped into that bowl.
Yeah.
You could hear the sound as it lands.
Yeah, that's a lot. I'd rather eat fried scorpions. Dude, Homo solari, I see you. Dude, fried bugs though, when you don't taste anything and all you hear is the crunch and all you taste is just the fucking seasoning salt. Dude, 100%. I've had crickets before. Nothing. No. It, like, literally, like, they fry the shit out of them, and it just, like, it's like Lay's potato chips.
Gross. No, what if they miss one? What if they miss one and it wakes up and starts jumping around inside me? See, no.
It's different, I suppose. It's like shrimp and seaweed. Dude, I don't eat crustaceans whatsoever. Like, it's a good point. The only time I'll eat
shrimp. Really? I'll mess with some crab. I will eat some crab.
Katarn can, like, I don't fuck with bottom feeders. I don't fuck with bottom feeders just because it's too, like, they're, like, it's gross.
Nah, dude, crab and eel.
But, like,
two best sushi's out there, man. It's all about that.
Tempura, I don't know. Tempura is, like, kind of different. But, like, I'll eat sushi. Yeah, no problem. But, like, when in Rome.
Yeah. If you took these crustacean guts and you wrapped them in some seaweed and put it on some rice, I might try it. But you got to change up the presentation. I'm not eating steaming guts in a bowl. I'm not.
Yeah, steaming crab guts, like, that's hard, man.
Also, like, do you notice there's no utensils? You're supposed to just eat that with your hands. What do you do?
I'd rather eat the gelatin and the powdered, like, bread soup that Ray fucking makes.
Oh, dude, I want to try the bread soup. In fact, I want to try eating the powder and then drinking some water and seeing if the bread, like, forms.
If it'll yeast in your mouth, that's gross.
That's just, like, mix it in your mouth. Yeah.
That's like the dude of, like, yeah, no, give me the Mentos and the soda in the mouth. Let's see.
Brian Ward, if you're watching, I need you to recreate that with Photoshop. Ray just, like, pouring the portion into her mouth, splashing some water, and there's, like, bread.
Fucking Genghis Khani. Oh man, crab guts are great. If they're cooked,
crab is delicious. Crab is delicious.
I don't want to eat steamed. That shit, like, it doesn't even look like the inside is cooked. It looks like the thing where you
steaming.
You know what it looks like? It looks like when you make
it on the grill.
You stick it on the grill. That looks like when you make your pot pie and you burn the outside of your pot pie, but somehow the inside is still fucking frozen.
Frozen solid, and it just, like, falls in one piece.
I had fucking faith in you. Like it's still, you touch your pot pie and it's scalding hot, and then you open it and you touch the carrot and it's still fucking cold, and you're like, what the fuck?
You know, I quite like pot pies. I've had quite a few pot pies in my life, and I don't think I've ever cooked one without burning my mouth. I burn the daylights out of my tongue every single time. I'll never learn.
That's a hot pocket. That's different. That's still like a school or a Chef Boyardee raviolis. Like,
or pizza rolls. Pizza rolls are notorious.
That's just eating lava. At that point, that's just you're putting yourself
just slowly scalding your insides.
But dude, look at that glub shit. Look at that giant green, like,
the crustacean dude.
He somehow still has like red coloring and red purple eyeshadow, and like his hand is fucking ginormous.
He looks like he's related to the guy that just got squished into that bowl.
Like, dude, he looks massive and just like still so much fucking detail.
He is the same species that we later in the trailer see getting his absolute daylights knocked out by Smee. He goes rock'em sock'em robots on that gentleman. We got fucking some Jawas. We got some Jawas
everywhere, anywhere.
Ooh. We can't. You can barely see him. Right next to you,
motherfucker.
Is that a pike?
Wootini.
Is that a pike leaning against the bar behind the Jawa? We can only
see all I see are little dangles.
He's got the little, he's got the little thingies there. I think that could be a pike. Can't tell without the rest of them. Then,
man, that's a good butter
season. Agreed. Honestly, dude, I love Cajun spice. It's so good.
Great dragon seared on melted butter.
Bro, I would so try that. That's not a squishy crustacean into a bowl though. Like that sounds good. Like, yeah, especially on like a hot stone. Like cook it that way. Cajuns, seared on melted butter. Now I'm hungry. I haven't had dinner yet.
Dude, same.
Yeah,
we're both eating as soon as we're signing off for the evening.
Oh my god, you're totally right. That's totally a Romulan ale, otherwise known as a Powerade bottle without the label.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yes. Yes, look at that bright red. Look at that red 40. God. Look at that red 40 in the dark. And then it looks like
legit.
There's making a sandwich after this. It looks like there's more in the floating like potion bottle cantina above the Jawa head also.
That's something that I've always punched my mic. That's something I've always loved about the cantina spaces in Star Wars is how creatively they store their liquids. In like the weirdest contraptions and like Bunsen burner ass looking, like it looks like a mad scientist put this together, but it's just some weak way bartender who makes minimum wage. And he's just like, oh yeah, do you want the purple sphere or the green sphere tonight? It's like, how do I even drink this? I love how well they captured that absolute nonsense. When you go into Oga's Cantina in Galaxy's Edge, you're like, oh look, they've got all these cool apparatus behind the bar, and I don't know what the hell anything does.
Yeah.
And nor should you, because you're in Star Wars. You're a human in an alien world. It's appropriate that you don't know what.
Dude, I really love how for the Jawa on the right, like I think that's one of the first few times that we've seen like a really clear side profile, and it really looks like the eye is kind of like.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Because like it looks like they're kind of like on stalks a little bit like that.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, that's very interesting. Apparently they're very furry. I wonder if we'll ever see one. I hope not. I
hope not, man. Like that's kind of the fun and the mystery. Plus, like, there's just something really cute about like the oversized brown robes with the little glowing. Like, there's just something.
Yeah. They look like children in Halloween costumes every time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
look
there you
go. Fucking look at that guy.
He looks fantastic. This is such a good creature design. Look at his little green spikes on his arm. Like that coloration, he's got that mottled like dark green and light green going down. Like it's almost.
Oh my god! But pause though. But look at the Hydra mask, like no nose, like sad meme mug dude behind him. Like, oh, I waited for 45 minutes for my drink, and it's still not here.
He's like, I still haven't been served yet.
Bartender.
No, you're totally right. He totally has this energy.
Hello, bartender. Still waiting for that Corellian ale. You know, the one in the clean glass. It's been about 35 minutes at this point. I'm still. You can hear me talking, right? Like you know that I'm. Okay. All right.
That's totally what's going on here. He's just like, I haven't been served in like 45 minutes. He kind of looks like Ochi of Bestoon, and I'm only saying that because he's got a stupid ass face and then giant artificial eyes.
Just ginormous circular eyeballs for no fucking reason.
Giant eyes on like this just dumb upside down frown face. I dig it. That's also peak design right there. But yeah, dude, this green like horny looking bastard, love it. I'd put a bust of him in my library of creatures.
He has so much detail to him. Oh, just fuck yeah.
Yeah, the way his mouth moves is great too. Blah, 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 blah. And here's Jod. Here's Jod looking very shady. And is that a DL-44? I think he's holding Han Solo's blaster.
I couldn't tell if he was holding a blaster or not. No,
it has a muddle. It has the same little flared muzzle of the DL-44, but it's something else. It's something else. Yeah, dude, Chiss bartenders, like sometimes you gotta slam a lightsaber down on the counter to even get the time of day. It's ridiculous.
It's true.
So look, he pulls out look, he's got his little carving knife. He's like, hey, you didn't pay for that. We don't take Old Republic credits here. And then nice. Pours it back onto the grill. And look, you notice who's standing right next to Neel? It's Vane. It's Vane, the pirate from Gorian Shard's crew.
I'm trying to think of what his species is called again.
He is a Nikto.
A Nikto. Yeah. He looks so
It's
good.
funny. It's a reference to The Day of the Earth Stood Still. And then subsequently a reference to Army of Darkness, I guess, because that's also referencing The Day of the Earth Stood Still. There are 3 alien designs from Return of the Jedi who were named Klaatu, Barada, and Nikto.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's a Nikto named Klaatu, and there's a Nikto named Barada. So put that together, boom. It's the words you say for the evil book in Army of Darkness, but it's also the alien phrase from The Day the Earth Stood Still from the 50s. But he is a Nikto. That is his species. And yeah, Vane, you love to hate him. He's such a Weasley, like, Sleemo. He was great in Mando. Like, trying to get drunk in the school building? Like, what are you even doing out here, Vane? Like, dude's a mess. Dude is a mess. So they throw the thing, they make their escape. Okay, that's a better
blaster. Dude, I feel like we're gonna see so many cool pistol and like hand blaster designs in this show, and it's gonna be like, I'm here for it.
My favorite pirate, I think, is Brutus, the Wolf Man.
Yeah, with his flintlock.
He's a Shistavanans, which we've seen in the OG Tartakovsky micro series, Shistavanans. But he has 3. He's got 1, 2, 3 going like strapped on his chest. And it's like a flintlock, like a blunderbuss, kind of like old fashioned. It's very much a buccaneer weapon, you know?
Paul Run, dude, that's all of us. It turns head to look at blaster. Yeah, that literally all the time, every time.
I'm always like, yeah, like, okay.
Look at that.
All right, yeah, look at that.
Look at that body. Yeah.
Like, seriously, I watched a fan film once that had so many awesome blasters being held at weird angles that I had like a crick in my neck by the end of it. So I was like, is it a DL-44? Is that an E11? Like, what's going on here? I'm too old to be turning my head in these angles. So we're running away. Oh, I think that might be that
giant crab.
This blue guy right here, I think that might be the guy that we were speculating was a Pike. And I'm thinking he's no longer a Pike, just from how he looks here. But yeah, they're running away. They're running from the
Frankenstein feet.
Yeah, he's got like you're right. He's got like a cybernetic foot, kind of like Saw Gerrera. It's totally like a.
He's just stomping.
That's how space pirates do peg legs, you know. But look at the guy next to him. Doesn't he look like an extra from Les Mis? He's got like the heavy coat and like the floppy hat.
Oh,
and
yeah, and the kind of turban. Yeah.
I can't quite get the shot. I'm covering him with my face cam here, but he's got like a tricorn on. He's wearing like an old-fashioned hat and everything.
That's wild.
Like, he's such an old-fashioned looking pirate. I dig that.
That's so wild.
Is there a Clasuinian in the background? I don't see one. We've got human pirate, big ass crustacean dude, guy with his back to us. Oh my god, is that Hrothgar Deng? No.
There's the guy with like kind of bluish gray skin with the spiky.
That's the guy that I was like, that's this dude from inside the cantina that we thought was a Pike. Because look at his face. That's totally him.
Yeah.
That's totally him. And he's not a Pike, but he's another tendril species. But look at the dude right over Neel's shoulder, to the left of Neel there. He's got the weird dome head. He's got the little metal shoulder plate. Like he's totally got cybernetic limbs and he's all weird barrel chested. Could that be Hrothgar Deng? Like already? Could Dengar already have made his transformation? Like that's wild. It's probably not him, but man, what the hell happened there? I need to know, but also I don't want to know. You know what I mean? Let that stay a mystery because he's gross. Oh, I think I see who you ment by the Clasuinian. You're talking about the guy in between the Les Mis Buccaneer and the green dude coming up. This guy right here. It might be Klatooinian. Kind of looks like a human in a hat to me.
Yeah.
The adventure awaits.
Let's go.
It's a pretty sweet coat. I like his duster.
It's very wintertime. It's
also very outlaw.
Yes.
Nice. Can't tell you how many times we've seen this shot in a Star Wars thing in the last couple of years.
The slide, yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm thinking Kylo did that same slide in The Last Jedi. We see someone, I think Han Solo does the slide in episode 7 too. We see Lando do that slide in Cloud City, I'm pretty sure, in 5. That's like a very Star Wars-y shot to do as well. Got some good old percussive maintenance. Also, I like that it's the nerd.
Percussive maintenance. That's the best description I've ever heard. That's hilarious.
Like, you'd think the nerd would like pull out her little like, okay, engine's working.
Nah, sometimes you gotta hit it
with a wrench.
Bro, that's what I mean. Going back to Firefly and Serenity, like, isn't that what
Kaylee would do?
Like, she didn't always sweet talk the engines.
No, sometimes you got to do what Fonz would do, you know. Yeah. See, like we're sliding down things. Like this all feels very Goonies. Like when they're in the water slide, reaching the pirate ship. See, Neel is being given responsibility for probably the first time. I feel like he's like the sheltered kid in the friend group.
My God, look at his little hair.
His mom always makes a little snack lunch with his name and like
oh
yeah,
my God.
Got the little comb over.
He's so adorable. He's so stupid cute.
He looks like a honey bun. He looks like a very nice young man.
Oh my God.
His little parted hair and his overalls. He like, you're like, this is gonna sound like dark, and I don't mean it that way, but he reminds me of Piggy from Lord of the Flies. Wow. You know what I mean? He's the kid with the Asmar, but like, just like in the Goonies. You remember at the end of the Goonies when Mikey freaking throws his inhaler away? That's the most ridiculous thing. He's like, I've cured myself of asthma because I found my.
It doesn't work that way, kid.
What?
It doesn't work that way, kid.
It doesn't work that way. He's just like, he like throws it over his shoulder, like Luke with the saber. So like maybe Neil's gonna like find his courage, and it'll be like that kid from the Page Master when he comes back from the book world, and like suddenly he's not scared of everything. Yes. That's gonna be Neil's arc. Neil's gonna find his courage and end up being like the most dependable badass on this show. That's what I think. Yeah, he's like, who needs it? I don't have asthma anymore. I've been through character development because that's a medical solution. Totally. Oh, that's pretty dirty. That's like.
It's so sad.
That's you go join the other guy in the parking lot.
Out. Dad, I got your voucher. Out.
2x2 hands of blue. You know, I actually met one of the actors who played the Blue Hands guys on Firefly. He was really drunk at my bar in Seattle that I was running. Nice guy. Yeah, those guys were creepy. Again, TV shows that get canceled. Like, what was their deal? We are never gonna know. Like, they had such a cool storyline that was totally going somewhere. Ugh, whatever. I've already decided I'm watching Serenity later, so it's decided. Who is the sloth of this show? Are we gonna get a sloth archetype in our Goonies? Because we've got the space for tellies. So does this imply that there's a pirate that we can turn? A pirate who can join our side? Because Sloth technically was a Fratelli. You know, they mistreated him, but he was still with them until
Chunk was the robot. It's probably going to be Smee.
I don't think Smee was ever with the pirates. I think Smee's been on this ship for thousands of years. I think Smee comes with the ship. That's what I think. But before he was stranded here, he has seen a lot, and that's why he's going to see through Jod's deception, in my opinion. But this scene, okay, we're finally here. I want to talk about whatever's happening right here because it is the dopest shit in the world.
It definitely looks like almost every space movie where they're like, "Oh man, we need to fix this satellite. Oh no, the satellite's falling apart. Oh no."
Except that we have
before the satellite kills all of us.
It totally has those vibes, yes, but we have the context of knowing that these are pirates and they are boarding a ship right now. This is the space equivalent of like motherfuckers on the rigging swinging across to the other ship like they are in space going along tow lines, and they've got the old school like very 1950s like Rebels and Clone Wars like clear dome helmets. Love that look. It's so retro and cool. But like, look at this. Like, what is happening here? How can you not root for the pirates after seeing them do stuff like this? I'm sorry, but that's cool as hell. That is cool as hell. But look at these guys. Look at them right here. We've got Urkel in the front. I like that he's got his little like computer over the eye. I bet it helps him with aiming. I bet he's like the quick shot of the group.
Probably.
We've got random pirate in the back. This chick in the front with the crazy braid.
I love her hair.
I love the expression on her face.
She's very like kind of like not quite mean mugged, but also like maybe.
I hope she has a cray accent or speaks Huttese.
Dude, she looks hella Russian, right? She looks like
She's definitely got like. We are not English.
I wish you would try. Come try to fight us. Come do it. I dare you.
You will meet your doom. Like that's what I haven't heard her speak
like
yet.
You have balls. You have balls to say that to us.
But like the dude on Urkel's left, I'm gonna call him Meatloaf.
I was gonna say John C. Reilly, but okay.
I see that too. I can see that too. And then if you look over Homegirl's right shoulder, that is a New Republic officer.
He looks like the animatronic in Haunted Mansion in front of the broken graveyard gate with his starving ass dog, and he's just standing there with the lantern, just like whoa.
I knew exactly what you were talking about him. Oh my God, you're totally right. He totally does. That's definitely a New Republic officer. He's got the helmet, he's got the uniform.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that these guys are knocking over at least one New Republic facility so we can like see the pirates be successful at some sort of heisting to establish them as a threat, because obviously they're not going to actually get one over on these kids, right? I don't see that happening. It's not that kind of show. But we need to show that they're a real threat and they can get one over on somebody.
Yes.
So we're probably going to meet them knocking over the New Republic.
To show power dynamic. Yeah.
Exactly. To show that they really are a threat. But I'm all in on these pirates, man. They look really entertaining, and I like that they're not so generic that they all look the same. Like they're very unique in the group, like collect all the action figures kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. I'd love to know more about them. I'd love to know more about them.
I appreciate there's still uniformity though.
Yeah, they still all look like pirates. Yeah. They stand in a group and they look like they belong together in that group for sure.
Yeah.
But within that, like there's enough variation. So here they are boarding the ship. Oh, snap. Is that an Ishi Tib? That is an Ishi Tib back there. On the left side, second row. That's a Cantina alien from A New Hope. That's an OG. Something interesting about this shot, and another reason why I feel like they're assaulting the New Republic here and not the Onyx Cinder, is that as they come through this umbilical, they're actually taking fire from the other side. Like they're actually already under fire. So whoever's defending the ship is just blasting away as they enter the door. So you can see the bullet hit right there. So I'm thinking that sounds like New Republic to me. I see the kids running and hiding when pirates show up, not necessarily like making a stand.
Yeah, no.
Here's Jod in some pretty fancy digs. I wonder what this place is.
Yeah, it's definitely.
This looks like this doesn't look like that weird little hole in the wall port that they were at before. This is definitely like a civilized world, maybe even a core world or somewhere with money, you know? And here are the kids ready to go. Love it.
Now they are fighting. They're rebelling. Maybe not rebelling.
Look at this one. She's got a helmet on. Like they're straight up like pitched in for like an actual battle.
Straight out of Full Metal Jacket. That's hilarious. And it looks
Full Metal Jacket, and yet also the Little Rascals.
The weapon she's also holding looks like the blaster arm of a Dalek.
Totally. I see it too. Yeah, they all have like weapons that could be melee or could be projectile. You just can't tell. And they could be projectile weapons, but they're just going to hit people with them anyway, and I would accept that.
The hobbits are ready for war, dude.
Legit, it's totally like that scene, the shot right after they have a cave troll, where the hobbits all pull their weapons out and they stand there all scared.
Like, oh, we'll do it.
Right before Moria. They're definitely, like, it could be an industrial planet. It could be one that we know. It could be Corellia even. Yeah. But I doubt it. I doubt we're going to go anywhere super recognizable, because the whole point is that these kids can't find their way home. And if they go to a major metropolitan world, it should be pretty easy to get help to get home. So we have to keep them out of reach of that help for as long of the story as we can to keep it compelling. So I'm thinking this is going to be some sort of a backwater as well. But there's totally chaos and commotion behind them. Like, they're in the middle of some sort of a large struggle here. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. The crustacean versus Smee. Boom, boom.
Oof.
Pew!
Oof. Did you see that? It was almost like it was almost like a hydraulic punch. Like, his arm went in for a little bit and then shot out, like the cattle prod skull thingy that the dude in No Country for Old Men uses to kill people.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. So look, here he is facing off with Vane. So maybe Smee and Vane know each other, or he just steps in this moment in the cantina.
Saving Private Neel.
I'd watch it. I'd watch it. But, like, you remember Ned B in Kenobi?
Yeah.
They kept like almost having him whip wholesale ass, but he never fully did. If he had, this is what I feel like it would have looked like. Just like these massive hydraulic strength hits just launch you into the air. Like,
that's rough.
Terrifying. Dude.
Well, it looks like both of his arms have hydraulic thrusts also, because like even his
look
right
at this little skinny part between the wrist and the forearm. I feel like he has little go-go gadget fists that shoot out. Man, I love living in the future and everything. It's great. I don't ever want to get punched in the face by a robot. Yeah. I want to be long gone before that's on the table. Before robots are out here punching stuff. Like, it's gonna happen. Maybe in our lifetime, but like someday that'll be a thing you have to worry about. Not me. Not gonna do it. Not even gonna go there. So the suburban look of this planet has kind of thrown people off, and I think it is directly related to the fact that this planet is isolated and not really in contact with the rest of the galaxy, allowing this sort of like little closed suburban society to just like form and not super be influenced by like the outside galaxy. It's totally like Burbank. I totally see it. I bet they have the best airport in the whole planet over here in the Burbank area. Oh yeah, here she is. Here she is. So this is the Mon Mothma looking lady that you were talking about from the hologram. She is the teacher at the school. And here she is speaking to the dad, and they're both very concerned. And that's the camera droid I was talking about from Rogue One that was working on the evaporators in the very, very beginning on Lamu. But yeah, he's like, how do I get my son back? And she's like, how do I get my teaching accreditation back? We got to get these kids back. But how? You know, like you said, we don't know if they have any recourse at all. Are they trapped on this planet? These are the security droids from the school, and I feel like they are now searching the woods to see if they can figure out where the kids are. But that doesn't make sense, because the dad knows they're not in the woods. The dad watched them take off in a ship. So, interesting. I wonder what they're searching for. And there's Neel being cute. Oh, that's right. This is this big ass thing right here.
This weird Cthulhu looking thing, yeah.
You know what? It's actually like, it does look kind of creepy and kind of bore gullet, but if you look carefully, he's got a big old walrusy mustache. And as soon as I noticed that, he became cute, and now he's like a cute creature. He's totally like a big old dopey octopus thing, and I think that design is on purpose. I think he has like an endearing quality to him on purpose, because we're going to be scared of him because he's unknown, and then realize he's actually a gentle giant or something, and we're going to have a whole like story beat about it. That's my prediction. I think this is some sort of a gentle giant, like friendly, maybe not benevolent, but just like, you know, like a cow or something, just like a large thing that you're like, whoa, oh, okay, you're fine.
I don't know if I would go that far. I mean, I think it would probably be more so something like the giant Kraken creature in the Aquaman movie, where it's like, you know, I'm this giant thing here to protect this area. If I don't think you're worthy, I'm going to eat you. If you are worthy, carry on. Potentially.
Kind of like the worm from Rings of Power season 2.
Yeah.
If you're worthy, throw you back to the shore.
Dude, that thing.
So this planet, this is totally where Jod was standing in that nice looking room.
Yeah.
That's totally here. And you see what's flying by right there? That's an X-Wing, baby. We got X-Wings going by. So I'm thinking that we're definitely in New Republic territory. And furthermore, how much you want to bet one of those X-Wings is Carson Teva?
I liked how the pirate ship also was black, very like rectangular and sleek, but it still kind of had like white stripes on it.
That is the Onyx Cinder.
Yeah.
That is our main ship that we're going to be on.
Yeah.
You're right. It does kind of have a similar livery pattern to that other ship as well. Interesting. Maybe the pirates had laid claim to it previously. But I'm thinking Carson Teva might be one of these X-Wings as another like little, connective piece into the Mandoverse, because we know he's out there at this time. Good shot of the back of Urkel's head. We can see that Lobot thing goes all the way around. It's probably like a proper implant on him, I think.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Okay, the booby traps. The booby traps.
Oh my god. I have to pause because I really have to pee. My bladder.
No worries.
I'll be right back.
That's totally fine. You go do your thing. We will be right back after these messages.
Kein Problem mit nur einem Streifen Chewbacca Chewing Gum. Für galaktisch frischen Atem. Chewbacca Chewing Gum. Galaktisch frisch.
We can truly experience the universe.
今、私たちは宇宙を実感できる。世界を実感できる。衛星放送のために BS チューナー内蔵。ドームスピーカー搭載。パナカラー X。
Panasonic. Itsimo, something new.
It's the Pizza Head Show.
I just saw the Star Wars trilogy at the theater, and hey, what's that?
The Death Star is targeting us, and Princess Steva says you're our only hope.
He's no princess.
Sure he is.
No, I won't. Now what's happening?
Uh-oh, it's Darth Steve. Use the false Pizza Head.
Too late, I'm hit. I'm going back to Pizza Hut where it's safe. I don't think the Force was with me.
Now you can collect one of 3 Star Wars posters when you buy a Pizza Hut Kids pack.
And we're back.
Oh my god, Itsimo.
Itsimo.
God, I love this. They're so random and so good. God.
I love that he is pulling a knife out of a skeleton of a pirate. I'm all about everything that's happening here.
Yes. I'm curious if like the skeleton is made of metal also, because like that's a very dark skeleton.
Well, it might be a non-human skeleton, I'm thinking. That's one thing that I want to see more of in Star Wars is alien skulls.
Dude, for real though. Dude, for real. Okay, shout out to the Predator for that one. That was really cool that like dude had no problem just showing us different like collected skulls that over time just like wear some of them and make armor out of some of the other ones. Like
I love it when they do that. Like it's like a different kind of world building. Like we've seen all these aliens, but like now you know what their physiology looks like, what their skeletons look like.
That's I guess we kind of like the only time we've really ever got that was with the Mythosaur skull for the Mandalorians and like
we've seen bantha skulls before.
Yeah, that's true.
In the bantha graveyards and stuff like that. We even saw a Crate Dragon skull in the original A New Hope. That's what that's supposed to be.
Yeah, we see the full kind of a skeleton.
But I'm talking humanoid skeletons.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we need more of that.
Like, what does a Twi'lek skeleton look like? Like, do they have?
I think they're cartilage. I think that they're cartilage, and that they would just have 2 big round holes in the backs of their skulls. Now that you brought the question up, like I need to know.
Right? Like,
I will be bothering several people from the Lucasfilm art department on Twitter later, and maybe one of them will get back to me. We'll see. But like this right here, this laser trap, like coming out the mouth of like the skull carving,
so cool.
This is for me and me alone. This is my piece of Skeleton Crew. It's so Legend of the Hidden Temple and just like Hook and the Goonies all rolled into one. Like, also, do you notice that this skull kind of resembles the big golden skull in the treasure room? It has like Weequay. It has like the Weequay tusks on it.
Absolutely, yeah.
This is totally a little Weequay skull. I didn't notice that before. Yeah, look at this.
I love the stupid future.
He just put a charge on it to blow up the engines. He just slapped something on there.
How stupid, but like how perfect of a helmet. Like, it's so Buzz Lightyear, but at the same time, you never have to worry about being like having to worry about being blind.
No, it's so good, dude. It's so good. It's like the Wallace and Gromit Big Day Out, or it's like Tintin. It's so old fashioned.
Yeah, it's the same as when like we got to see Ahsoka put on her spacesuit, and it's just like, dude, this is amazing. This is hilarious.
Well, it's literally the helmet that Ezra Bridger wears in season 4 of Rebels when he fights alongside the Mandalorians in space, like on top of that ship. That's what he's wearing.
One size fits all humanoids. That's amazing.
Unless you're an Ishitib. Or a Twi'lek. I don't know if you're going to coil your Leku around your neck or something.
Probably.
Put your Leku around your necku.
You stuff it.
A Jawa skeleton. Yeah, what the hell do they have going on under there? Again, I want to know, but I don't want to know because Jawas, you got to keep it mysterious. You don't want to know how the sausage gets made. Yeah, no, it's such a good droid design.
Looking. He
looks so cool, and I love that he's got one non-functioning eye too.
And just like because we've seen so many really clean, we've seen so many like put together protocol droids. Even Jabba's like torture droids look like put together. Like they don't have just wires sticking out of their fucking back of the neck, like to the head. Like this dude looks like himself.
Do you think he's a protocol droid, like a protocol model? I think he's something else.
No, he was probably security droid. Probably something more like directive.
With his like weird melee capabilities, like those go-go gadget fists, I'm thinking either like a combat security type droid, or he's like a load lifter, some sort of like freight, like moving heavy things kind of droid.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, his design is fantastic. The exposed wires, the rusty plates, the non-working eye. And he's got a peg leg too. You can't really see it in this shot, but he fully has like a proper peg leg on one of his legs. It's so good. So on a snowy planet, we find like a junk heap. Oh, that's their ship. Their ship thrown in a junk heap.
Ship is crashed in the snow.
That's not good. Yeah, that's no bueno. Here's Jod running with it looks like the kids are disguised here.
Yeah, the kids are wearing disguise.
This is the same place where we see him in that temple with the Ur-Katat writing. So there she is.
Yeah, so that's the teacher.
And someone let us know in the comments here that her name is Farah and that she's Fern's mom. And also the teacher. She's also the teacher. He does look a lot like the KX series droids, like K2SO. That's who you're talking about, right? I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. He could even be like the ship's mechanic, you know? That's why he's on the ship, is that he comes with the ship as like the maintenance droid. It's totally possible. Also, she's talking to pirates here. She's talking to pirates on board the Onyx Cinder.
I was trying to figure that out. Like
this kind of confirms that the pirates will take control of the ship at least at some point, because they're manning the bridge, and it looks like Farah is trying to reason with them. Or maybe this is like a ransom situation. That's kind of what I'm thinking. They're like, we've got these stinking kids, and we'll give them back for all the Republic.
They could just be reading an email. They could just be reading some transmission that the kids got from.
Yeah, you're totally right. You're totally right.
Put out.
She communicated with the kids earlier in the episode, and now that the pirates have taken the ship, they're replaying an old recording, and it's going to give them some sort of really vital information.
Yep.
Yeah, it's totally a message that Fern already had. I think you might be right. We got some thrilling action coming up, some ridiculous set pieces. I can't wait. And then here we are, the treasure room, bro. Just look at it.
There's so much, there's so much stuff to look at.
I know, like, there's very few things that I can recognize here, but in terms of like things that we know are treasures in the Star Wars universe, like I'm pretty sure that big square crate in the front with the white jewels, I think those are silicax crystals, which is what Cobb Vanth traded the Jawas with to get Boba Fett's armor from the Sandcrawler. He grabbed a Cantono full of them. I like the big carved like sigils, big round runes on the columns too.
Oh, like the Aztec calendar looking things?
Totally.
They're
There's something very like Montezuma's cursed gold about this whole thing. Like I feel like if you take some treasure from here, you're cursed, you know? But look at the skull. It's got the Weequay tusks coming down the bottom, and it totally looks like that carving with the booby trap that we saw on the wall with the lasers coming out of the mouth.
The throne is in the mouth. Yeah, the throne is like in the open mouth.
I'm thinking this is definitely like we're on the trail of a Weequay pirate king's treasure hoard from thousands of years ago. And I'm sure that the pirates are not the only ones after this. Like, yes, the kids are probably going to find it first accidentally. I feel like this is where the Hondo connection could really come in.
That's true.
Like, this could be like Hondo's pirate ancestor or something.
Dude, that'd be hilarious.
Like, to use another Tintin analogy, it's like Hondo is Captain Haddock, and this guy was Sir Francis Haddock, or like the Red Rackham, like the other side of it, because they're pirates. But like, totally, this is the treasure, and you know that the final act showdown is going to be in this room. We're going to have pirates fighting the kids in this room, and there's going to be some twists. I don't think it's a Nikto. I think it's totally a Weequay. I think it's totally a Weequay, and the bottom chin tusks are really what make it apparent for me. Davy Jones Locker. Exactly. No, it's and look, Jod's with them all the way to the treasure room. So Jod is sticking around. He's sticking around.
True. And the robot.
I can't wait for Skeleton Crew. December 3rd, and we're getting a double drop. We're getting the first 2 episodes at once. You already know that we'll be reacting to it right here on the YouTube channel. Full-length, uncut versions of the reactions will be available on Patreon as soon as the episodes go live, so you can check there. There'll be links on every video in the description. Skeleton Crew. There it is, man. There it is. It looks like a good time. It looks like some good old-fashioned Star Wars-y fun. And something that I think is really like timely about this project in terms of like how Star Wars fans are feeling is that I feel like it looks like it's not going to take itself very seriously.
No, it's going to be very campy. I think it's going to be very quick. I'm actually going to be really curious, like how long the episodes are, because I know when you're working with child actors, like labor laws are very strict and very specific as to like how long each kid is able to work.
I'm willing to bet that we're going to get at least one episode without the kids in it.
Yeah.
We're going to get an episode that explains Jod's backstory or something. They're going to find a way to focus on other elements of the show in order to get around things like that. I totally think that is a factor, though. Hopefully it doesn't affect the overall run times of the episodes, though. I also don't really know anything about the budget for this show, how long, how much it costs. Like,
I was just thinking, like, please, no more 6-episode seasons. Please be more than 6 episodes for the love of the Force.
Yes. Going back to what I was saying about not expecting second seasons, I think that if we're going to be approaching this from the angle of this is most likely a 1-season thing, unless something unexpected and fun happens, you need to make it a 10-episode season. If all we're getting is 1 season,
even
make
better.
a full-length season at least. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, like, yeah, you can tell a good story in 6 episodes, but like you can tell an even better story in like.
You can tell a more grounded and more
only have like 30-minute episodes. Like if each episode's only like maybe a half an hour long, like go big.
That sounds about right to me. Yeah, absolutely. Just flesh out the underworld completely. So we do have one other Star Wars related thing. Just interesting fact from this earlier this week. So Variety released a new interview with George Lucas about the Phantom Menace over the last week, and in this interview, it was revealed kind of a bombshell actually. Liam Neeson was originally Obi-Wan Kenobi, and at the end when he dies, Qui-Gon Jinn, his Padawan, would take on the name Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Interesting.
And that's why Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi, they're both hyphenated names. Like, that was going to be a thing. And then very late in production, they cut that idea out, and Qui-Gon was just Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan was just Obi-Wan. But, like, what a George Lucas ass idea.
So, like,
the most George Lucas idea. No one could think of that but him.
So it's like the name would just be a title, like the name Obi-Wan Kenobi is just like a title, an inner title within the Jedi.
Yes.
Like, oh, you've reached this level of understanding.
Well, no, it's like it's more like the Templars with their squires, and when the night falls, the squire would take up the name of the knight and carry it on, kind of thing. So here's the quote from the article. For a time, the older Jedi was named Obi-Wan, and the younger Jedi was named Qui-Gon. It was very poignant that at the end, as Obi-Wan dies and Qui-Gon defeats Darth Maul and stays with his master as he passes away, he not only takes on his master's quest, but he takes on his name. Qui-Gon becomes Obi-Wan. That's why when you see Alec Guinness in A New Hope, he puts his hood down and goes, Obi-Wan? Well, that's a name I've not heard, because he's not Obi-Wan, he's Qui-Gon. And right at the end, George changed it. So, yeah, we came this close to another crazy twist. I am also happy that it went the way it did. I don't think we necessarily needed that, but I think is appropriate. It's an appropriate reaction to this.
Cut it right at the loudest sound.
You're like, your finger.
That was the wrong
clip. I mean, but it still worked though. It still was a great example of his eccentric.
It still worked. This is the clip I meant to pin that.
But it is a very hard movie to follow, and at the same time, I've done it a little more extremely than I've ever done in the past. It's stylistically designed to be that way, and you can't undo that, but we can diminish the effects of it.
Oh God, I hate it. I hate that it makes sense. I hate that I still understand it. I'm like, God damn it, Luke.
It makes perfect
God damn it, George. I get it, but why? But why, George? But it's like, I understand, because you don't understand. I'm sitting there in my office with the safety pins and the red lines of yarn.
You got a fucking string board going.
Like, dude, I get it. That's
want to know why? Here's why.
To create images is always a challenge. Digital magic.
Fucking digital magic. I hate it. It's just all the memes.
It's digital magic.
That man is a meme and a legend.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been the Dork Forces podcast, episode 87. Before we go, let's check out our Gonk of the week. It's the last thing we have left here. This week's Gonk comes to us from Phil Hogg. Look at this beautiful thing right here.
It is really, yes.
I love the colors on it.
The colors are great. I love the metallic. I love the metallic paints they use. I'm a sucker for glitter.
Yeah. When it changes the angles, you can see the light reflecting, like interacting differently with the colors. Like it has that
between the bottom panel and the top. I think the circuitry in the face is
this
my
photo
favorite.
feels like a selfie.
Like it looks like it's smiling. Yeah, for sure. Like the fact that it has that it has red feet too is also just like very.
Yes,
he's very well built. Like he's very well built. I love his detailing. His coloring is great. The only thing that bothers me is that like the bottom panel, like his bottom half seems to be like a darker metallic blue than the top.
I think it's possible that a shadow is cast on the bottom because the middle rim goes out a little bit.
Like they could.
We've got a quote here from Phil about his Gonk. S0NC Sonic, as named by my son, who said the blue body and red feet look like a famous hedgehog. Totally. I totally get Sonic vibes from this. The red feet, that makes so much sense now. Also, I can't help but notice that he has sent me these just casual pictures of a Gonk droid, just like not mentioning this awesome basement chill space that he's got. Like it's looking like the Mos Eisley Cantina down here. Like this is a humble brag. He's like, yeah, check out my Gonk, but also check out this sweet like little Cantina pad I got going down here.
And he just hangs out.
Good for you.
Wow.
And there he is.
Wow.
With his Gonk. Look, he's got a little droided car. He's got the Gonk up there, the Probot.
Dude, I was gonna say he's got the floating probe the shelf. That's pretty.
This guy's got life figured out. He knows what he's doing. This is a fantastic Gonk. Yeah, Sonic. I'm gonna give him a 13 out of 10 because those red feet just really.
That's a good. Yeah. Okay. That's a good one. I'll go with a 13 gold rings out of 10 for this.
13 gold rings for Sonic. I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the Dork Forces podcast tonight. We did a deep dive into the Skeleton Crew trailer, and you know what? My hype is reaching levels heretofore unknown. I thought I was excited before, but I actually noticed things in that trailer, talking about it just now for the very first time, that just make me even more hyped. Like, I can't wait. December 3rd. It's pretty much exactly a month away until we have our first premiere of Skeleton Crew. And I can't wait to be there with everybody. We're going to be doing hype sessions. I'll be doing live hype sessions on Twitter every week right before the episode drops, just like I was doing for Acolyte. So I can't wait to see everybody in those. This has been the Dork Force podcast. Thank you so much, everybody. And as always,
may the Force be with you.